the spectrum of becoming an astronaut.
Also, we also have Professor Zahir Ali, Professor of Space, Thunderbird School of Global Management. He's live from the Silicon Valley. And thank you so much, Professor Ali, for joining us on Republic TV, sir. How do you see this homecoming? Of course, everybody is now counting down to it. But as we were just speaking to our previous panelist also about the impact it could have physically and psychologically. Bone density is one of the very challenging parts of it, what we know is that astronauts can lose about 1% of their weight-bearing bone mass per month. And now it's been 9 months. So how do you think it would augur for them? Does it have, a long-term impact or rather lifelong impact for human beings, especially in this case?
So the medical issues do lead to some lasting implications for astronauts. These things vary individually. Significantly. Bone loss, of course, is a greater concern for some of the population than for others based off of gender, age, and a lot of other factors. One thing that it might not be very well known is that typically when the astronauts come down, particularly from long missions like this, right, this is part of the reason why they are sequestered, because their ability to act normally on Earth is not necessarily there. They may have trouble walking. They may have other challenges. And so, their privacy is respected and they will recover. But what this has offered is a great opportunity, accidentally, to do additional study on the effect on people staying on orbit that long. This is critical research. These capabilities are so important because as we move to a society where instead of maybe 20 people on orbit at a time, where by the end of the decade, I could easily see 1 to 200 people being off-world all the time. If we're going to truly create lunar and Martian economies, that means we're going to have to not live in places that look like the International Space Station, but look a lot more like our homes. And yet we'll have to adjust to lower gravity and radiation and all these different effects that space has on humans. And so the more we know about them, the more we learn, the greater the databases grow, and the more research that can be done by people, the greater benefit to the future of the human race in the stars.
All right. We also have former ISRO scientist V. Ramaswamy. Sir, where do you see India in this space race? We see, of course, we are learning from NASA. We have our own, recent achievements as well in the form of Chandrayaan and many others. Now we have the Gaganyaan, which everybody had their eyes on. The training of the pilot of the astronauts has begun.